Well, good afternoon or good morning to some of our NASDA members and participants. Welcome to the second formal day of, actually I think it's the third formal day of our NASDA annual meeting. Kind of lose track of time just like we do when we're having the meeting in person. We have another great presenter today, and later on at the conclusion of Hubert's comments, I'll go through some housekeeping issues and share what's going to be happening with the rest of our day. But I would like to take this opportunity at this time to introduce one of our friends, one of our partners. NASS has been a good partner, and in fact, I'll tell you that Hubert has served as the National Agricultural Statistics Service Administrator since 2016. We've known him a lot longer than that because his work began as a statistician, division director, where they produced well over 400 national reports each year covering the agency's crops, livestock, economic, demographic, environmental, and census programs. NASS is a tremendous partner to NASDA, and since 1972, NASDA has executed the cooperative agreement that we have, and we employ over 3,000 enumerators who provide timely statistics for American agriculture. And with that, Hubert, I'd like to introduce you, hand you over. The floor is yours to make some comments.
Thank you. Good afternoon and thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to address you, our strategic partners, and a hearty shout out to President Goring, Barb Glenn, Charlie Ingram, and the entire NASDA team. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Doug, I was looking forward to getting pie in Tower City, North Dakota, the best pie in the world. So I want you to know we'll have to figure that out at another time, but I've been there and I want to go back. I'm excited to share some information about NASS activities. Not many notes in the file on how to maintain mission delivery during a pandemic. So we're trying to document the process so that moving forward, if we have some other challenges, we'll have something to work from. I always throw in our mission to just mention we may have some new individuals here. And you know why we're here to provide the accurate and useful data for decision making. Next slide. I'll move very quickly. I have just a few minutes here. This slide really highlights the NASS field footprint. And I want to draw your attention. We have 5 yellow dots on this map. These are our 5 data collection centers or call banks where we do most of our data collection activity. That's in Montana, Wyoming, St. Louis, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. We'll get back and talk about those a little bit later. Next slide. But Doug, you stole a little bit of my thunder. 1972, this marriage was initiated, 48 years of cooperative state-federal agreement. And I think we're a model for others who want how to best work together. We have approximately 100 NASDA enumerators around the country. They do the data collection activity for us for our ag statistics program. Next slide. That group of enumerators are split into 2 different buckets. 2,600 of the field enumerators knock on the doors and collect information directly from producers. And of course, those 500 enumerators that are in those 5 data collection centers. Next slide. I want to give you a little bit of a COVID-19 update, the impact on NASS programs. We went to a maximum telework posture in the National Capital Region, that's the DC, our headquarters, on March 17th. On March 19th, all of our field offices or regional offices went to the same posture. We suspended all in-person data collection and training For all of our enumerators, we wanted to make sure that we protected the farmers, ranchers, the enumerators from any spread of this virus. So we wanted to be very, very careful. We implemented decentralized calling on March 19th, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Next slide. Basically, the decentralized calling, those 5 data collection centers, we could not have the enumerators go into that closed environment. Our field enumerators are armed with iPads. So initially we started having the field enumerators do the calling on the iPads, and the equipment that we have in those data collection centers is not portable. The enumerators could not take that home to call from those 5 different locations. So we had to procure some additional laptops such that staff from those 5 different locations could take those computers home to continue calling. Generally, we collect about 66% of our data by phoning. In addition to that, our June area survey had to be canceled. We generally will run an area and a list-based survey parallel. So we canceled the area-based survey because that requires in-person enumeration with the enumerators, with maps and the like, working directly with the farmers. We're doing a lot of virtual communication, just what we're doing right now. Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams. I'm just to a frazzle working in the virtual environment. Next slide. We were able to be very flexible with our workforce because 94% of our staff are telework eligible, and we had 86% of our staff participating in what we call a core or situational telework agreement, meaning they could work 1 day at home, 1 day a week at home, and log in with their laptops. So we were very trained in this way of conducting business. So our day-to-day operations continue. NASS is open for business. We do the same things, we just do them in a different way. The virtual meetings, we have to be very flexible with staff. Some have dependent care issues. And let me tell you, we have a very dedicated staff, and they are on these computers. They're logged in. I get more emails later and later in the day. So we've been very pleased with the staff reaction. Next slide. The other thing I wanted to mention, all of our reports have been released on time as scheduled since we went to this maximum telework environment back in mid-March. More than 200 reports have gone out on time. Response rates have been comparable with no major impact. We've relied heavily and seen a large increase in the response by the web, and also our mail response has been very strong. And I will say that the Census Bureau was out doing a lot of publicity for the population census. We think we got a little bit of a boost from that as well. So we appreciate the Census Bureau. And we've had very, very strong demand for our data. Lots of data requests. Next slide. Just highlight a couple of other things from 2020. Meeting with people like Doug Goring, your president. We made a change for our June acreage report. We included in that report not acres that had been physically planted in the ground, but also the acres left to be planted, so that you'd have 3 different numbers: what's planted, what's yet to be planted, and the total anticipated of those commodities. We'll also have a similar result in the annual report in January, where if we have another late harvest, we'll be able to say how many acres of corn have already been harvested, and then how many acres are yet to be harvested and still in the field. In addition to that, in our county estimate program, we have eliminated our district estimates, allow us to publish more counties, to have more available at the county level. And this aligns with what we do in this agriculture program. In addition to that, our monthly estimates for fruit information from prices allow us to reduce respondent burden on the producers. So with that slide, I've got about a couple of minutes, Mr. President, or so. I'd be happy to entertain that. But I appreciate the opportunity to be with you.
Thank you, Hubert. It was good to have that overview. I'm not sure if anybody else was having some problems. You were fading in and out there. Sometimes it's just a bandwidth issue. I guess it goes to show why we need technology everywhere and to be boosted in a better situation. But caught about 99% of what you had said there. It was just towards the end. I do want to thank you. I do want to thank you for making those adjustments to the reports. I know some of our members had voiced their concerns, how the market responded and reacted to previous reports. And I know that the planting and harvesting intentions sometimes get blended with information, and sometimes the trade does not necessarily understand what was being published and reported. So making those changes, I believe, is going to help clear up and end some of the confusion. But we thank you for the opportunity to continue to work with you on some of these issues.
Thank you.
Amanda, we do have just a few minutes. If there is a question or two, we could allow at least a couple minutes for that and go from there. If someone does have a question.
I am monitoring, but I have no questions at this time. So if you do have a question, you can either raise your hand to ask that verbally or type it in the Q&A box, please.
Hubert, I also wanted to say that this last year, I know it's been challenging. I get a survey and that I need to fill out every year and several times throughout the year. And I did get mine this year. Unfortunately, there was a little glitch in the system and it wasn't on your end. The survey that we're supposed to fill out in April for the May report, which comes out in June with that timeline, I got a call on it, and I got to tell you, your enumerators did a good job with going through what they were requesting. And then about the end of July, I received something in the mail, and I tried typing the code into the computer to do the online survey, and it told me that it didn't work. I started looking at the date. That had an end date of May 31st. So I got to say, it wasn't your fault. For some reason, we had a little glitch in the mail system, and something that was supposed to have been delivered in April never got to me till the end of July. So good work. Your enumerators followed up and made sure that they had the information.
Thank you. Appreciate the feedback.
Do we have anyone that has a question? Otherwise, we're going to move on to our business at hand.
I actually see a question in the chat box right now. It says, can anyone conducting research use NASS data? As a student in urban agriculture, I am interested very much in this. Thank you.
And the answer is absolutely yes. We get lots of requests from students in grad school working on their PhDs. They use a lot of our information. And you can contact your local state station or regional director, and they will direct you on the path to help you with that research.
Thank you. Well, I think with that, we are right where we need to be. And Hubert, I wanted to thank you again for your time. Thank you for all the good work, for the partnership. And I want to thank Charlie because I know that he works directly with you in managing the enumerators on NASDA side. He does a great job.
Doug,
we appreciate it.
Doug, I'd like a commitment from you that you're going to meet me in Tower City one of these days. You know what I'm talking about. I want to know if you know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely do. Tower City is known for their pies and baked goods. And when you get to Fargo, I'll meet you over there. I'll buy you a piece of pie.
All right.
And a cup of coffee.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. So moving on, Again, I want to thank you, Hubert, for your time today. We're going to get into a few other things here. And maybe first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you again to our sponsors. You can probably never say thank you enough for your commitment to the cause. Your support of this organization and our regions really does help move the needle and really does help us express some of the issues, needs, concerns, and you're part of that resource that helps us really do a better job of defining what the issues are, how we need to move forward. We have great members that have intimate knowledge of all the issues in their backyard, but when we get together collectively, we really do a better job of coming up with a good path forward, and that's only because of our sponsors supporting our efforts. So thank you. At I'm going to say 1:40 Eastern time, so you'll have to do the math and adjust accordingly. We have our committee meetings today, concurrent committee meetings. So marketing and international trade will meet in one committee room. Rural development and financial security will meet in another committee room. We are supposed to end at about 2:10 Eastern time. We then have about a 10-minute break, allow everybody to freshen up and get ready for the next committee meeting. The next committee meeting will be at 2:20 Eastern time. That'll be plant agriculture and pesticide. And the other one will be natural resources and environment. We then have another break at 2:15 when that, or 2:50 when that ends. And at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we then move into our last set of committee meetings, which will be food systems and nutrition and animal agriculture. Please look for in the app your very respective and specific committee meeting that you're supposed to be in. Then right around 3:45 Eastern time, we move into the policy committee review session. That's an opportunity for all the chairs to come and present any action items, work that was done in their respective committees. And at that time, it then prepares us after we adjourn for our business meeting tomorrow morning where that will all be heard. I want to thank again everybody for their participation. I understand that as of this morning, we're right around 638 registered. And I know at different times yesterday, there was quite a number of people watching and participating in the NASDA annual meeting. We do miss you, and we would encourage you to also go on the homepage on the app and look for any notifications, updates. We also have affiliate reports in there. We have, I believe it's almost 10 affiliate reports. Please go through those. It gives you an opportunity to see all the things that we're also involved in and those that are associated or affiliated with us. And for those that are new to this, those generally speaking are your staff, your directors, supervisors in different departments within your agency that generally fill in as a representative of those organizations. So read those reports, get up to speed, and we'll go from there. So again, don't miss our final review session, which is going to take place at 3:45 today. But I'd ask you to prepare for the committee meetings that are coming up starting at 1:40 Eastern time. Thank you very much. I'm not aware of any other business to come before this body. Thank you for your participation this morning. Have a great day. We'll see you in committee meetings. Did I miss anything, Amanda, that needs to?
We had a question, Commissioner, from Secretary Fisher about where we are discussing the NASDA policy amendments passed out of NASDA. Those 3 policy amendments were just emailed to NASDA members and state staff, as well as posted in the app under a specific section called New Policy Items. So please reference that.
Yeah, please, again, if you're looking for something, go to that app and go down to those respective committees or any of the policy and action items that will be discussed. They should be there. If they're not, please email, ask a question, and we'll try to steer you down the right path. And I believe you even have something up on the chat site that'll take them right there also, don't you?
Correct. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. See everybody later. About 20 minutes, I suppose. Thanks.